Welcome back. This is part 2 on how to crochet the cow. So go ahead and get your pink color yarn. We're going to make the mouth. You'll need to make a magic circle with 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, for our next row, we're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And then we're going to do 3 single crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to go ahead and repeat that. 1 single crochet in this stitch, and then 3 single crochet into the stitch after that. And now you only have 2 stitches left. You're just going to go ahead and put 1 in each of these. So now you have 10 stitches around. For row 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 into the next. So 1 into this first stitch and then 2 into the next stitch, and then we're just going to repeat this. Okay, so now you have 15 stitches. So for row 4, we're going to do 1 row even in the back loops only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, and for our last row, we're going to just go ahead and do 1 row even regularly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So then go ahead and do a slip stitch into your next stitch. Go ahead and leave yourself a decent size yarn tail, at least 10 inches I'd say, and finish off. So this will be the mouth. We'll go ahead and set that aside for now. And now go ahead and get some black yarn, and we're going to go ahead and make the ears. Okay, so for the ears, go ahead and make a magic circle with 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I got a lamp on to try to help see because the black yarn can be kind of hard to see. So go ahead and close up your circle. Okay, for the next row, it's going to be 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 3rd stitch. So let's see if I can get in here. So the first stitch is 1 single crochet. The second stitch is 1 single crochet. And the 3rd stitch is 2 single crochet. And then we just repeat this. So 1, 1, and then 2. I apologize if it's still difficult to see. The black yarn is very hard to catch on camera here. Okay, so row 3 and 4 is just working a row even. Okay, so let's do this. You now have 8 stitches. So row 3 is just 1 single crochet in each of these 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that was row 3. Row 4 again is just 1 single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Row 5 is 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 into this 4th stitch. 1, 2. and then just repeat. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 into this last stitch here. Okay, so you now have 10 stitches around. Row 6 is 1 row even. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, row 7 is 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches and then crochet 2 together. So 1, 2, 3, and then crochet 2 together, and then repeat. 1, 2, 3, and then crochet these last 2 together. So now we have 8 stitches. Row 8 is 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then crochet 2 together, and then we're just going to repeat that again. So 1, 2, and then crochet these last 2 together. And that's the last row, so we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into our next stitch, and then go ahead and cut yourself about 6 or 8 inches of a yarn tail and finish off. Okay, so that was how to make an ear. So you can go ahead and rewind to 5 minutes and 50 seconds and go ahead and make your second ear. Okay, moving along, we're going to go ahead and make the little nubs now. So with your black yarn still, go ahead and make a magic circle with 6 stitches. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and cut this a little shorter so it kind of stays out of my way here. Okay. So for the next row, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 into the next stitch. Alright, so we got 1 single crochet into this first stitch here, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch, and then just repeat. 1 and then 2. And then 1, and then 2 into this last stitch. Okay, go ahead and pull your yarn tail tight. And for row 3, it's going to be 1 row even. And you have 9 stitches around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is also our last row, so go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch and cut yourself about 6 to 8 inches of yarn tail. Finish off here, and that is one of your little nubs. So go ahead and rewind to 12 minutes and 45 seconds and make your second nub. Okay, so moving along, we're going to go ahead and make our arm now. So go ahead and have your black yarn, and we're going to make a magic circle with 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, for row 2, we're going to do 2 single crochet in each of the stitches around. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, you now have 12 stitches around. For row 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 into the next. So 1, and then 2, and then just repeat this. 1, and then 2, 1, and then 2, 1, and then 2, 1, and then 2, 1, and then 2 in this last stitch. So that was the end of row 3. We now have 18 stitches. So now for row 4, we're going to work row even in the back loops only. So 1 single crochet in each of the 18 back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so now for row 5, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches and then 2 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then crochet 2 together, and then repeat this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then crochet 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to crochet these last 2 together. Okay, so that's the end of row 5. You now have 15 stitches. So row 6 is 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches and then 2 together. But at the end of this row, we're going to change to our white yarn. So do 1, 2, 3, and then 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 2 together. 1, 2, 3. And then we have these last 2 together, but this is where we're going to be changing our yarn to white. So now we want to change to white. So I always go ahead and just put the next stitch in, but that's for the next row. Your marker is going to go right here where you crocheted the black together. So your marker goes here. And you now have 12 stitches around. So you can go ahead and cut your black yarn, because we're done with that for now. And go ahead and lightly tie these ends together here. Your new white yarn tail and the end of your black yarn. Okay, so that was row 6. Row 7 is working a row even, so we already have our first single crochet in here, so we need 11 more. So this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so that's the end of row 7. We'll go ahead and turn this headlamp off now. Okay, so that was the end of row 7. Row 8 is also working a row even. So 1 single crochet in each of the 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so go ahead and place your marker. That's the end of row 8. And now we're just going to stuff the hoof. So go ahead and get some stuffing. We're going to stuff this hoof. You want it to have kind of a flatter shape like this. You want it to be stuffed real nice and good. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that. It's nice and stuffed. So moving on to row 9. Okay, hold on. Okay, so actually row 9 through 16 is 8 rows even. So like we did with the body, I'll work the first one with you, and then I'll pause the video, have you pause your video, and you work the remaining 7. So let's go ahead and work row 9. You still have 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that is the end of row 9. So go ahead, pause your video, and work 7 more rows even, and I'll meet you back here to work on row 17. Okay, so I just finished my row 16. So now we're going to lightly stuff the arm. So get some stuffing. And you don't want to put too much. Just do like a little bit. So as you can see, I do not have much stuffing in there at all. This is all free of stuffing up here. Okay. So, moving on, row 17 is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then crochet 2 together. So 1, 2, and then crochet 2 together, and then repeat 1, 2, crochet 2 together, and again 1, 2, and then crochet these last 2 together. And this is our last row, so we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into that next stitch, and go ahead and cut yourself a long yarn tail, about 12 inches. And there is one of the arms. So go ahead and rewind your video to 15 minutes 50 seconds and make your second arm, and I'll meet you back here to make the legs. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make the legs now. I'm going to start with the black yarn again, and you're going to go ahead and make a magic circle with 6 stitches. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, for the next row you're going to put 2 single crochet into each stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, for row 3 we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 into the second stitch. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch, and then just repeat this all the way around. 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2 in this last stitch. Okay, so that's the end of row 3, and you now have 18 stitches. Row 4 is 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches and then 2 into the third. So 1, 2, and then 2 into this third stitch. And then just repeat this. 1, 2, and then 2 into this third stitch. 1, 2, 2 into this third stitch. 1, 2, 2 into this third stitch. 1, 2, and then 2 into this third stitch. 1, 2, and then 2 into this third stitch. Okay, so that's the end of row 4, and you now have 24 stitches. Row 5 is 1 row even in the back loops only. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and this last stitch is 24. Okay, so that's the end of row 5. Row 6 is 1 single crochet in the first 6 stitches and then 2 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 together. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these last 2 together. Okay, so that's the end of row 6, and you now have 21 stitches around. Row 7 is 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches and then 2 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then crochet 2 together. Then we're just going to repeat this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these last 2 together. Okay, so that was the end of row 7, and we now have 18 stitches around. Row 8 is 1 in the first 4 stitches and then crochet 2 together, but we'll also be changing to the white yarn at the end of this row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 together, and then just repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to crochet these last 2 together and add the white yarn. Yeah. Okay, you can go ahead and cut your black yarn, and then I'm going to tie my yarn tails together here. Okay, and your marker is going to go right on this last black stitch that you have. Okay, that's the end of row 8, and you now have 15 stitches around. So row 9 is working 1 row even. So we already have 1 stitch in, so we need 14 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, hold on one moment. Okay, so I actually see where I messed up. I put my first stitch in with the 2 together stitch. Sorry about that. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. That is why I like to count as I crochet, because I would not have caught that mistake right away, and I would have had to backtrack a lot more. Okay, so I turn this off now. So that was the end of row 9. Row 10 is also working 1 row even, so just 1 in each of the 15 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and stuff the hoof. Okay. Again, you want it to be a little bit more flat. Alright, that's good. Okay, so that's the end of row 10. So row. Okay, so for the next 8 rows, we're just going to be working even. So I'll do row 11 with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So that was row 11. So go ahead and pause your video and work these other 7 rows, and I'll meet you back here to work on row 19. Okay, so I have my 8 rows even done. Finished row 18. Row 19 is going to be 1 single crochet in the first 3 stitches and then 2 together. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 together, and then just repeat 1, 2, 3, and then 2 together, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 together. Okay, so that's the end of row 19, and you now have 12 stitches around. Row 20 is 1 row even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. This is also our last row, so go ahead and do a slip stitch into the next stitch and finish off leaving a long yarn tail. So you can go ahead and stuff the rest of your leg. Don't overstuff it, just put like enough that it fills it up. Okay. So you want it stuffed pretty much to the top but not completely. If you can tell that it's not completely stuffed. Okay, so go ahead and rewind your video to 27 minutes 34 seconds and make your second leg. Okay, so we're going to move right along to the udders. So go ahead and make a magic circle with 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so for the second row, go ahead and do 2 single crochet in each stitch. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Row 3 is 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 into the second stitch. So 1 in the first stitch and 2 into the second stitch, and then just repeat that. 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2. Okay, so row 4, you now have 18 stitches. Row 4 is doing 1 row even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. That was also our last row, so go ahead and slip stitch into your next stitch and go ahead and leave yourself a long yarn tail. Okay. Still working on the udders here. Go ahead and take your pink yarn, do a slip knot, and then go ahead and hold on one sec. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do a half double crochet into that chain 1 that you just made, which can be a little tight. It's okay if you don't get it on the first one, you have to redo it. Okay, so then after you get your half double crochet in there, you're going to slip stitch into that same stitch. And then you're going to go ahead, cut yourself a yarn tail, and finish off. And you're going to make 4 of these little guys total. So go ahead and make 3 more. Okay, so you should now have 4 of these made. So now we're going to go ahead and attach it. So I'm going to go in about right here in between the second and the third row. Okay. You kind of have to look at it in different angles and see what looks better. So I'm going to go just up one more stitch in that same row. And then in the back, you're just going to knot it onto that. So you can tie it as many times as you want. I'm going to go ahead and tie it 3 times. Make sure it's nice and secure. And you can snip the yarn tails. I'm going to hold off just to make sure I don't have to change the placement of that. Okay, so this next one, I'm going to go in between the second and the third row again. Trying to get it as parallel to that as I can. I'm just going to go up a stitch. See how that looks. And I actually want to move this one. Let's see here. Okay, so that's still between the second and the third row. I just moved it up higher. Okay, so make sure you have the correct yarn tails when you knot these together. You're going to end up having a lot of yarn tails, so it could get confusing. All right. Okay, so still in between the second and the third here. Okay, let's see where this would look better. So I'm actually going to go in between the third and the fourth row here to attach that last one. Okay, so again, I'm going to go first in between the second and the third row. And then with the other yarn tail, I'm going to go ahead and just take it right down one in between the third and the fourth row. Okay, so I know I'm satisfied with where they are all placed, so I'm going to go ahead and just trim these a little bit shorter now. Okay, so there is your udders. So you can set this aside for later. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the tail. Leave a long starting tail and go ahead and create a slip knot. And we're going to go ahead and chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then in the second chain from the hook, you're going to go ahead and you're just going to slip stitch all the way up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then go ahead and cut yourself about 5-6 inches of another yarn tail, and go ahead and pull that through and finish off. Okay, so then take 4 strands of black yarn, and in this little space that is here, go ahead and pull them through. Oops. Okay, so then individually just tie these on here. Just double knot them onto the tail. And then do these with all the strands. Okay, so I have all my strands knotted on here. So then you're just going to take your yarn needle and you're going to go ahead and separate the strands like this. So go ahead and do that to all your strands. Okay, so when you're done, your tail might look a little crazy. You can go ahead and just trim down the length of that tail. And there you go. And this is the end of part 2 tutorial. Part 3, we'll go ahead and begin assembling our cow. Thank you.